Reunion. Hello, y'all. I was selling crack on a private jet up in the hell and back. But no confusion, this a reunion. Hello, y'all. Welcome back. Get murder here. He counting money. He said, "Can man, the hell with rap." I'm only here to shit on niggas and piss on bitches. Welcome, ass. I bought jewelry and bikes, nigga. Black Benzes and white Vigors. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for more chandeliers and light fixtures. Nah. I don't like niggas, what's wrong with me? I'm a hype nigga, but this 44 turn to Michael Jordan, I look and say take flight.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is sponsored by Underdog. The app is an easy way to make some cash just by making picks on your favorite players. Underdog is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Missouri, just to name a few. Make sure to support the show by hitting the link in the bio and downloading the Underdog app. Use code MACECAM or STAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits with your first deposit and a free pick. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mase and Cam.
Killa, what's good, man?
Murder, what up, baby? How you?
Yeah, chilling. You got Vado hot, man.
This ain't the first time. Pause.
Yeah. Up in the house. We still helping from long distance. Pause, you know?
Hey, that's what I do, man. That's what I do. I hope it worked out. Vado's nice, though, man. I'm talking about the lyricist. He's good. He's a really good lyricist, man.
And next week, I want to put it out to the fans. I'll let the fans vote on it. Unless you want to vote on it, Killa. They asking me to come to the Diddy trial. You think I should go this week?
It's up to you. I don't know your relationship.
No.
What is your relationship?
Why you gotta use relationship as a word?
I mean, that's what it is. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. How, y'all cool or not cool? I don't know what else you want me to say. Like,
nah, just a few people reached out to me, asked me, was I going out? I was trying to figure out a way I could go at least a day. Just
why you ain't go to the MTV Lifetime Achievement Award when he won that? Because I see his son performing all your parts on the song. Why you didn't go to that?
You can't. Why you can't answer the question?
What's the question? Am I going?
Yeah.
I'll go with you. If you going, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. If you going, I'm gonna go with you. Yeah. Just me randomly going? Nah, I ain't going by myself. If you gonna go, then yeah, I go with you.
Stat, why you laughing, Stat?
Because that was a funny question. I'm a hush.
Which question?
The Lifetime Achievement Award. Like, when people are up, like, you gotta,
No, the reason I asked, like, because they performed all the songs that Mase.
Know.
Yeah, and it wasn't Mase.
I know. I seen it. That's a great question.
How do you feel about that? Now I think about when somebody else, where they had to the back, dressed like you and start spinning around on stage.
I think it's flattering.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I remember years ago.
It's a good thing.
I remember years ago when he was on the first tour. I don't remember the first tour. I'm talking about the first Bad Boy tour that I remember. And you and Puff was going through a little bit of thing, and you boycotted part of the tour. I remember you was like, "Niggas ain't paying, niggas I ain't going," and you really ain't go. And Jada Kiss had to be you one show and do everything that you was doing. From what I heard about that story. We wasn't there. I was with you on the boycott. What do you think about that?
Man, you gotta get paid, man. Niggas gotta get paid.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. I was just referring to the fact that somebody else really be you like doing the spin and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, one time Lil C's did it.
Yeah. Nah, because I'm trying to figure me, like, who niggas think they, no disrespect to these son, especially Kiss, that's my brother, or C's and none of that.
Yeah.
I just be thinking about me like, why is niggas up there? Who talk niggas into this? Like, niggas can't talk me into like, yo, just be Mase tonight. Like, yo, I'm telling you, it's gonna go all right. If you be Mase, we'll kill him. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what that check is like.
Valid questions. Okay, we're going to start with the game. So the Warriors lost to the Rockets 131-116. The Warriors are up in the series 3-2. Mase, do you feel like the Rockets figured the Warriors out?
No. Don't start that stat. I know you love new hotness. You got your fingernails painted black?
No.
Oh.
Not yet. I should do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's nothing has changed. I think if you look at this stats, I'm going to pull them up for you just so you can see. It's nothing has changed. They just had a good game. I don't think this is something that's going to play over in the series. I think they lose the next game. Even when you look at Jalen Green, right, he still is at 11 points. And they're not going to be able to beat this team unless he really, really shows up. So even though they were able to pull off this win, and it was a convincing win, I just think Golden State is on a mission. I think they got too many things going in their favor. Even some of the guys that are coming off the bench are figuring out those things. And if they have to lose this one game to become 3-2 to go on and win the Western Conference, then this is what they had to do. Sometimes you have to lose a game just so other people could figure stuff out and get more playing minutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to put too much into this figuring Golden State out. What I will say is that the Rockets came out with a sense of urgency, and they played like this was an elimination game. From the beginning of the game, they took control of the game and made the game theirs. If we thinking about it, look, Steph didn't play 2 quarters. Jimmy Butler didn't play 2 quarters. Draymond, let me see his minutes. Nobody played over 25 minutes. Jimmy Butler played 25 minutes. Steph Curry played 23 minutes. Buddy Hield, 18. Draymond, 18. Nobody even played more than 2 quarters with the starters. So I'm not going to put much into it, but I do give Houston credit for playing like this is a closeout game and their season was going to be over. So they jumped on Golden State from the beginning. What I will say is this, though. Towards the end of this game, the bench actually came back for Golden State. The bench looked really good. They brought Moody off the bench. And he actually, I'm not even sure how much he had 25 off the bench. He started and kept Buddy Hield on the bench, but Buddy Hield started. And Moses Moody off the bench was spectacular. I believe they were 30 points down at the start of the 4th. All the starters on the bench came back and cut it to 13. After they cut to 13, they missed a key layup, which could have cut it to 11. And then it's got into a little chippiness to where it was a technical foul on Golden State, technical foul on two techs on Golden State, 1 tech on Houston. And that kind of broke the momentum because what happened is Houston brought all their starters out. All the starters was out on the bench at the end of the 4th. Draymond, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, they didn't even play. And Houston sat they starters, but Houston had to bring their starters back in. Like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Hold the fuck on. I know niggas ain't just about to blow another 30-point lead. And not saying they did, but, we've been seeing some crazy comebacks in the NBA this postseason. Pardon me. So they had to bring their starters back in. And to be honest, they could have busted a move, but that little chippiness and the altercation broke the momentum, and they ended up losing by 18, 20 points. But if I'm Steve Kerr, what I will take away from this game is that I got a pretty decent bench. Kuminga didn't even play. And with Moody, and I can't remember, what's my little man who got kicked out? Pat Spencer. He got it. They was ready to fight Houston. The bench niggas like, we not the motor niggas. We with all this nonsense. Let's get it in. And he got kicked out the game for headbutting Sengun. I like the attitude, but if I'm Steve Kerr, what I take away from this game is I got a pretty decent bench moving forward. And if they do win this series, you could depend on some more of these players you might not have depended on if this situation didn't happen.
Yeah, even one guy you left out was Knox that used to play for the Knicks. A Kentucky alumni, had about 13 off the bench. And that's a lot in the playoffs. If you can get a few guys to get you 13, that could change the series. So that's why I said it looked like he was playing with his bench, and getting them to the place where later on in the playoffs, these are going to be key players that make a difference. So we gotta keep those names on the list for the future.
Yeah, and just looking at some numbers, we're looking at the starters. Draymond Green, -29 when he's on the floor. Jimmy Butler, -23. Steph Curry, -19. Buddy Hield, -22. Now let's go to the bench. Looney +1, Key +12, Knox, like you just said, +14, Davis +12. Everybody on the bench is plus. Pat Spencer +13, Moses Moody +6. The bench was plus the whole game, and the starters were minus, not just regular minus too, minus in the 20s. So the bench did a magnificent job this game. That's the silver lining that Steve Kerr can look at moving forward.
Okay, so there's a quote from Jimmy Butler basically discussing Dillon Brooks. He said he got going because people started talking. So a reporter asked him, is people Dillon Brooks? And he said, yep, I don't like Dillon Brooks. He's a fierce competitor. I'm a fierce competitor, but ain't nothing fun about that. So I know that there's this thing that like Dillon Brooks is unlikable, but Mase, do you think it's ever going to get to a point where people fear Dillon Brooks, or does he kind of lack that? Or do you think they do?
Nah, I don't think nobody will ever get to the place where they fear him unless he start fouling people very flagrantly. I remember a guy by the name of Bill Laimbeer. People were scared of him because, you know, he could foul you in a way that could lead to you being injured or missing some games. I mean, even Pat Beverly was like that. You know, people watched him. You know, I wouldn't say fear, but he got to that place where people really paid attention when he came around, because a lot of people, you know, pretty much knew something could happen, whether he played great defense or whether they freak accident and got hurt. I don't think Dillon Brooks has enough offensive power for people to fear him. If he starts really, you know, being consistent with his threes, like he started playing very well this year, but if he can get that going consistently in the playoffs, then who knows, in a year or two they could be fearing him. But right now, I don't think they're fearing him.
Yeah, I don't think that they fear him. I think he's more annoying. I think he's one of them people that knows how to get under certain people's skin. To me, what I say is, and I don't mean this no disrespect to Dillon Brooks, what I'm about to say, because I just don't know a better way to say it, but like, he's a B-level Draymond, you ask my opinion. Like Draymond, people say Draymond is just wild, he throws punches, elbows, scraps, which he does. But we got to think in mind, Draymond is the former Defensive Player of the Year. He finished third in Defensive Player of the Year for this year, and he's very underrated. We think about this. If I was watching this series and I didn't see the start of tonight's game, I actually caught it probably with about 6 minutes left in the first quarter. But Draymond starts at center. He's jumping ball pause at the beginning of the game with the center. Draymond's 6'6", 6'7", if we giving him 6'7". But he's guarding niggas 6'11", 7 feet, and doing a tremendous job. Even with Sagoon last game, he's the one who got that key defensive play and didn't let him get close to the basket. He shot really like basically a jump hook from nearly the foul line. That's Draymond's defense. Like I said before, Draymond leads Golden State franchise organization in triple doubles. Draymond does a lot of stuff that does not come up in the stat books. And to me, Dillon Brooks is a lower level Draymond. But I believe he shoots better than Draymond. I believe he could get some more points. I think Draymond, and don't get it fucked up, there's times where Draymond was supposed to win MVP in the finals if he didn't get kicked out that year that Cleveland won. He was going to get the MVP that year. So Draymond's a great asset, but I think Dillon Brooks is a little bit under him, and I don't think anybody fears him. I think it's more like, this nigga here, bro. Because Dillon Brooks, at the end of the day, he doesn't care neither. Just like Jimmy Butler was talking shit to him on the line saying he'll do this and that, Dillon Brooks was talking shit right back. He was talking back. He knows how to get under people's skin as well. So I think it's more annoying people than fear for people.
Okay, so prior to the Timberwolves versus Lakers game, JJ Redick got fiery with a media member and stormed off the podium. When asked about his decision to play all the starters for the full second half in the previous game, JJ responded saying, "Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? You think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single time out?" The reporter replied saying that often coaches lean on their assistants to help with substitutions. JJ Redick again responded and said, "As I do, that's a weird assumption," and then he stormed off the podium. Mase, why do you think JJ Redick gets so bothered by those sort of questions, and how do you feel about his response?
I think the reason JJ Redick gets annoyed by this is simply the same reason why anyone would. Like, you're trying to coin a phrase of something around what he's doing, trying to make light of his coaching ability when he's proven that he belong here. He's proven that his though it's his first year, he does know what he's doing. It's not like he made that decision without counsel. And that's what he's letting them know. I spoke to the guys around me, their experience, but I don't know if that's snitching on them. Does this put this on them? Is that they made the bad decision and he just carried it out? Because even when they give you counsel, you have to decide if you want to do the things that you hear. So even though he said he spoke to them, that's probably why they said it. And I try to give both sides, not speak out of both sides of my mouth, but in one take, give you both sides. So pause. When I'm thinking about it, what the reporter is saying is that you're actually the person who make the decision. So no matter who told it to you, it's still on you. And looking back at it, he did what he was supposed to do. Because if this had worked out, we would have been calling him a genius. It would have been another play that was done differently than the people before him, and they would have looked at that as intelligence. So I support JJ Redick, even though we had some jokes earlier. It looked like he knows what he's doing, and it looked like he'll be able to turn his team around.
Yeah, as far as his comments, to be honest with you, I think JJ actually has been holding his composure this season. Actually, when I used to watch him on ESPN, as an analyst, I'm like, he's really tense and uptight, and he comes off as like an asshole. Pause. When he was on First Take, I think honestly the way he's carried himself as the Lakers coach this season has really been toned down from what I used to see him on ESPN and even on his podcast. I think he's done a sensational job this year. We got to think about this. At the beginning of the season, they was talking about J.J. Redick's going to be the coach. And last minute, they was like, hold on. Let's see if Bobby Hurley's available, or Danny Hurley, whatever the fuck Hurley is up there in Connecticut. And then he turned the job down and went back to Connecticut. Then it was somebody else, and they was like, fuck it, we'll go with JJ, which seemed like it was the only choice left. You dealing with two superstars in the beginning of the season, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You got to worry about dealing with people's, I don't want to say attitude, but dealing with a bunch of personalities, how to control the locker room. This is the first time you're doing it. He did an outstanding job. Not only that, we got to remember a mid-season trade, not just a regular trade, a mid-season trade for a generational talent with Luka Doncic. You got to know how to handle that. Like, yo, this is my first time coaching. I'm handling one generational talent in LeBron James. Then we have another generational talent. I got to know how to deal with both of them, talk to both of them, hopefully get them to mesh, put up schemes to hopefully get us to win offense and defense. We know Luka's a great offensive player. We got to find ways to hide him on defense. This is a lot to deal with a first-time coach. So if we see a little bit of frustration with J.J. Redick on the brink of elimination, I'm going to give him a pass. It was more frustration, and you had a great season. You finished third in the West, which I didn't expect you to even finish third in the West. I think you guys did a sensational job, even though it came to an end last night. I think it was a great job, but I think that situation was more about you're talking to a coach where people are blaming him for playing his starters or potentially saying that he's running them into the ground for a first-year dude. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not saying don't trust your bench, but on the brink of elimination, if LeBron James could give me 48 minutes, which he probably can't because he's 40, and LeBron James is not going to turn down an assignment. Fuck you want him to do? If you got the best player as far as points average is concerned after Michael Jordan, and he's available, what you want me to do? We're on the brink of elimination. So I think that was a frustrated coach that knew that.
Okay, and then at the time they were on the brink of elimination, but now we know the Lakers have been eliminated after losing to the Timberwolves 103-96 in Game 5. Definitely not the season that they wanted, but a lot of changes happened. Mase, what do the Lakers need to do in the off season?
Yeah, when you think about this Laker team, right, the important thing to take from this is that they did turn this team around. This team did. I think they overachieved, actually. Even though they got LeBron, I think they overachieved. They got Luka. They still overachieved. The reason why I say they overachieved because Luka doesn't play defense. So when you got somebody in the playoffs ranked as high as they were with no defense, that is overachieving, because in a league like the West, everybody is super talented when it comes to offense. So for him to even be there is a status booster in itself. So when you look at this team next year, what they need to do in the offseason is sit down with Luka. I don't know if JJ Redick has to fly overseas with Luka and just work with him on sliding. Work with him on sliding his feet. People improve their game every year. Some people get a handle. Some people get a pull-up. Some people, work on floaters. I think this is the season that Luka got to learn how to play defense if the Lakers want to be a serious team, because he's at an important position when it comes to basketball. I don't ever remember a two-guard not being able to play defense, from Dwayne Wade to Michael Jordan to the list goes on. Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, anybody you name that was a premier scorer, Spreewell. At some point, they have to play defense. And, and it's just something that's not going to be able to happen. I think he'll never become a champion until he commit himself to defense. And I'm willing to go on the record for that, because I think that's what he needs most of all. Even if he doesn't become a stopper, just some level of work that you could see next year. Oh, he's been working on his defense. Even if it's just committing to getting low on defense or trying to play defense. It just doesn't look like he's even attempting.
Yeah, as far as what the Lakers need to do is they need to get a center. That's the number one thing that the Lakers need to do. They don't have a big man, and niggas is bullying them. When you got to think about this. LeBron James is strong as shit, 6'8", 260, muscle pause. But when you're banging pause with these younger players, they down with all that. Julius Randle is physical. He wants them problems with LeBron for 48 minutes because they thinking LeBron ain't going to be able to sustain that type of play for 48 minutes. Last night wasn't even about, and before I get to the Lakers, let's give Minnesota some credit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so because I'm not going to make this about what the Lakers need to do. This is more about what Minnesota did do. Anthony Edwards had a poor game, and not poor game. And poor game, I'm talking about to a superstar status. But this is about the role players on Minnesota stepping up when they need to step up. I picked Minnesota to win this series when Mase said that the Lakers was his team. I told niggas that it took it. Man. It's on tape, murder. It's on tape. It's recorded. Everybody
I like
knows.
the color, purple and gold.
You and B was on the teams because B is a Laker fan, and you was
he got on purple too. That's what I'm trying to say. Is the the color.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You said it was your team regardless. You're not sick like B sick. I knew that you wouldn't care.
I like the Lakers like Magic Johnson kind of Lakers.
I'm just saying, at the beginning of this series, you said the Lakers was your team. Stat is my witness that she actually...
And the world. And the world.
Yeah, and the world, right, exactly. Yeah, this just a little...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we can see you. Exactly. Yeah, my nigga.
I said I'm a lifetime Laker fan. Yeah. A lifetime Laker fan. That means it goes back to my childhood. It doesn't mean I'm a LeBron Laker fan. It just means I'm a lifetime Laker.
That's why when we did last week when we was filming from home, I was laughing so hard when this nigga told me I don't like to be wrong. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't believe who was telling me this. I couldn't even stop laughing because I said the audacity of the messenger who's telling me this right now. I said, I can't believe who's telling me this. But okay, he's right. But I don't think he should be delivering this messages.
Oh, man.
But on a serious note, I think that we should make this more about Minnesota because, to be honest with you, when they wasn't doing good in the beginning, everybody was like, was this a good trade for Minnesota? What's going on? This, that, and the third. Not taking into account that they're just getting with each other. DiVincenzo was hurt for a portion of the season. Julius Randle was hurt for a portion of the season. And now you're getting a healthy 8 niggas on the team playing. When I say 8, because, you know, they cut their everybody else's minutes and they were using an 8-man rotation. But this is what you get when you get some time and some chemistry with a superstar. You have a good superstar. You have a decent center. You have a decent power forward. You got a decent 2-guard coming off the bench. You got not championship experience, but playoff experience when you're dealing with Mike Conley at the 1. This is a well-rounded team, and they also are dangerous. Let's not forget the core of this team when we're talking about Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards. They're fresh off of the Western Conference Finals last year. You know, the only thing, Anthony Edwards wants problems with everybody. He wanted problems with KD, swept him. He just got LeBron out of here. And Luka, person who sent him home last year. You know, the one thing the only time I see Anthony Edwards run into a brick wall is when he said he can't wait to play against Kyrie, which was the only time I seen him look like he should have ate his words. Because I think Kyrie just smirked and put on a show. Only thing Kyrie was missing was Michael Jackson glitter socks, nigga. Way he was dancing on that nigga, man. I actually was reaching out to Kyrie. He should start wearing the Michael Jackson glitter socks and call them the Re-Socks. Niggas would go crazy because he's a dancing machine out there. But listen, Anthony Edwards, we can't ask for more. This is a nigga who actually wants it. And not only that, he's going through the superstars that are legends to get it. Let's think about this, right? Swept KD, you beat LeBron. Let's just say that Golden State wins this series and they have to play Golden State and then they beat Golden State. Now you sent home KD, LeBron, and Steph Curry. If we get there, I know I'm speaking, it's a lot of basketball left to be played, but just think about that for his resume. He's 23. He's 23 years old. Let's think about that on his resume for a 23-year-old. So I want to give the Minnesota Timberwolves some love. And like I said, back to the Lakers, I agree with Mase. JJ Redick definitely over-succeeded this year. He did a tremendous job. We couldn't have asked more from LeBron. Luka definitely has to work on his defense. He's always going to be an offense phenomenon. But they need a center. They need the big man down there. And until you get that, you're not going to go past the first round.
Yeah, totally agree there. I think the issue is, I've said this from the jump, I didn't know how I felt about Jackson Hayes playing center. It's not working out for them. Then they gave a roster spot to Alex Len. He hasn't had the best career in the past couple of years. And then JJ Redick last minute wanted to put in Maxi Kleber. This was his Lakers debut in this game. And I know he couldn't have done much given the circumstances. But I think one thing that we don't give enough credit to, because I just feel like people don't want to give him much credit because they feel a type of way. I understand Rudy Gobert had 27 points and 24 rebounds. He had a super big game. It's like, we all know how we feel about Rudy Gobert, but like,
he had 27 and 24 against no center, though. That's what we're going to say, Stat.
Y'all treat him how y'all treat the Knicks. Like, it's the same energy. But it's like, yes, against no center, but you got to do it when it counts, and this is when it counts. So that's why your team isn't advancing. Sorry, that's just
my team.
It's your team. I'm gonna say
my team's still in it.
I'm gonna have fun saying your team too.
My team's still in it.
Yes, your team.
Those who know don't say.
No. No.
Stat, you know who my team is.
The Knicks.
No, the Knicks is not my team.
That's the only good guess I have.
Golden State, man. Come on. What do you mean? Golden State, bro. Come on, Stat. Don't start that, Stat. Where you think Titletown came from?
Sad.
That's where it actually started at.
As of the last year, I thought Titletown was in Boston. So
No, I said, y'all kept saying that. I kept saying this, that they're not Titletown till they win 2, right?
Didn't
we were saying this about Tatum and them, right?
Boston has 18 championships.
I know, but I was saying this unit. So the Titletown unit is still in Golden State.
As well.
Didn't you text Jason Tatum? Congrats on making it to Titletown.
Oh my goodness. I never did that.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, I love these conversations,
Instead, I don't know where you get this information
Yeah,
from.
I just made that up. Like, I didn't even know you knew Jason Tatum at all. Like, yeah.
Shit is wild, man. This man, nigga gonna say niggas don't like being wrong.
I didn't say text. You're using the wrong words.
You didn't say text?
No, but
Message?
Who cares?
Relationship?
Relationship?
I don't know. We're just making up words now.
Crazy.
Just learning. You're the professor of Titletown U. I'm just trying to know.
Titletown is under investigation.
Clearly. Reported. Better Business Bureau, because there's a problem.
Yeah, we ain't really putting it under investigation.
Dad, I gave you an invite to Titletown Summer School. You can show up or not. It's on you.
My invite's revoked?
Yeah. No, I'm saying I gave you an invite, If you want to squander it, listening to Cam, you could do that.
You know what's crazy? You know what's wild? Is that Mase tried to run a guilt trip on Stat for being cool with me. If you want to listen to Cam, I felt Stat. That he wants to guilt trip on me. If you want to listen to Cam, you wouldn't even know Stat. This is crazy, man. It's wild. It's wild, bro. It's a wild shit, man. Gotta listen to Cam. It's crazy. It's wild, bro. I don't want to be wrong. That's my favorite.
This is what it's like having two big brothers.
It's crazy, man.
Two big brothers.
Yes, that's
Just
the
like
New
that.
York slang. Go ahead, listen. That's what you want to do.
That's on you, good.
Again, I plead the fifth. Okay, so Mikey Williams has a new home. We will discuss after the break.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. Wanna be free.
Welcome back. So before we get into Mikey Williams, there's another good game tonight. The Clippers versus the Nuggets. Underdog has Jokic at 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Do you have him higher, lower, Mase?
I'm going higher. I got to go higher.
What is it?
Yeah, Jokic is at 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
We seen him do it with less than that. It depends on what Jamal Murray we getting. If we getting a 40-piece Jamal Murray,
might be lower.
I'm gonna go lower. I think that the other players, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, we see Aaron Gordon game-winning dunks and all that. I think the other players are actually finding their rhythm. So I don't think the Joker's going to have to do as much as he does. And when I say as much as he does, I'm talking about 70-point triple-doubles. He had a triple-double last game, but it was all underneath those numbers that we're talking about, 49.5. So I'm going to go lower.
Okay. Aaron Gordon's at 19.5 points and rebounds. You have him higher, lower, Cam?
I'm going to go higher.
Yeah, higher.
Okay. And Kawhi is at 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You have him higher, lower, Mase?
Lower. I think he's going to be right there.
I'm going to go higher, and this is shit I'm talking about with Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard, like I said, we love Kawhi Leonard when he's playing like Kawhi Leonard and he's not hurt, of course. And I'm assuming he's not hurt. But we're going with Underdog and saying 36 points, rebounds, and assists when he just had 39 points the other night. We're combining all three and saying higher low. It's no consistency with Kawhi. Kawhi, yeah, they throwing you see the numbers? You see the numbers? I can't give you a deal with Underdog, a special like I'll be doing using code CAM. It's really code CHAMP because you can't spell the champ without the CAM. I can't give you a care package on Underdog. I'm going to go higher because y'all niggas is facing elimination, and I hope you show up. You better have more than 36 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay, and then real quick, gotta get a prediction. Who do you guys think is winning this game?
Denver, what do you mean?
Okay.
My other team.
Okay. I don't know. This season, this series has really been a toss-up. I think that Denver has found some momentum. Let's think about this. They won the last game by about 20. The game before that, they were up 20 in the fourth quarter. They just squandered the lead. So it's looking like the momentum is towards Denver, but we don't know what, this is the problem. This is the very problem that we're having. We don't know what James Harden we going to get, the one that's trying to get to the party after the season's over, or the one that's going to sit there and say, all right, get to, listen, we can have an 11-point James Harden, or we can have a 35-point James Harden. I don't know who we getting. We can have a 40-point Kawhi, or we can have a 17-point Kawhi. I don't know what we're getting. If we're getting those, the second numbers that I told you, Denver's going to win. If we give them to James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, that's the superstars that they are, the Clippers are going to win. It's just that simple, but the Clippers have no consistency.
Killa, pick a team, man.
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Which one you
The
going?
audacity of you to tell me to pick a team is ridiculous.
I only have
you picked
two
the team.
teams.
You picked the team. Your team is out now. It's not your team. Now Tiger Town's a mind state, and it's summer school, and it's all types of shit. The audacity to tell me to pick a team and hurry up is crazy. It's wild, man. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Sorry.
It's the pot calling the kettle.
At least I have no idea who's going to win this game.
Okay.
Who do you guys set?
I mean, the way Jamal Murray is playing, I'm going with the Nuggets, but like just because now I want to choose the Clippers just so we have a little debate, but like there's not really much debate. So I'm going with the Nuggets.
I knew it. My team.
Okay.
That's on record too. I had on the blue glasses. But Denver.
You got a purple shirt. All right? It's your team. What is it? What are we doing? The Lakers or the blue? What are we doing?
We're leaving the Lakers for the Nuggets.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you. At least you get to say that, man.
You just said the Warriors. You just said the Warriors. Title Town needs a limit. We need a limit.
Yeah,
there needs boundaries.
Yeah,
you can't change more than once in a week. More than once every 2 days.
Okay, I'm going to stick with Golden State.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you're right. Denver don't have more than one, so they can't be Title Town. Let's be consistent. Yeah. Okay. So we're going with the Warriors.
Okay. Moving along, Mikey Williams has officially committed to play for Sacramento State. Earlier in the week, Shaq actually agreed to be Sacramento State's Hoops GM, and his son, Shaquille O'Neal, committed to play for the new coach, Mike Bibby, at Sac State earlier this off season. So, Mase, knowing all of these things, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think is the correlation?
I like that. I like that idea of Shaq going there because I know Shaq going to bring players that really want to play. Shaq, from what I take from him as a player, as well as an analyst, being a person that's no nonsense. So he definitely not going to just bring a bunch of prima donnas. So I like that. I like that for Shaq. I also like it for his son. His son definitely could play. He just haven't been at the right school yet. And I think with him and Mikey in the backcourt, they could really cause some problems and make some noise in the NCAA, especially with two players that have been overlooked and niggas that play with their name. And they definitely will come back ready to play. Sometimes those are the best players to have, people that really have something to prove. And right now, Mikey Williams as well as O'Neal has a lot to prove.
All I hear is Mase talk about this nigga. I don't know this nigga. Ever since Mase talked about him, I ain't seen the nigga yet. Seen him in the gun charge. I seen him go to lose the scholarship, go to USC, average minus 17 when he get there. I don't know the nigga. Mase been pumping this nigga for 14 years. About when I was in San Diego, he was like that. When I used to be out there watching play, all I see is on Instagram the nigga in there killing a basketball rim with nobody in there. He in there dunking, hitting threes. Only person in there is a nigga going like this, his trainer. I ain't seen a nigga in no competition. I'm really tired of the Mikey Williams talk because Mase been gassing him for 3 years. Before this show started, I'm talking about. Because the show ain't even been 3 years. He been saying, Mikey Williams, Mikey Williams, Mikey. Where is Mikey Williams at? I don't know. Listen, I'll tell you this much. What I will say is this. I don't know what kind of coach the nigga is, but Mike Bibby was like that as a player. And I'm pretty sure if he has a point guard or a guard that's nice, he gonna let him rock out. I'm pretty sure, unless he one of them coaches that's like, come on, bro. Because he was all right. Mike Bibby was all right, man.
Yeah.
He was all right nigga now. And he was a really decent guard. So if you got an athletic guard, because that's one thing I will say about Mikey Williams, the nigga's athletic like a motherfucker. What I don't do is this. I don't take them Instagram highlights and base my opinion on it. Because what I tell people all the time, not just about Mikey Williams, niggas ain't showing the misses on Instagram on niggas highlight reel. You showing all the good shit. Everybody's highlight reel on Instagram is going to be looking good. So I'm not jacking it. Everybody's highlight reel on YouTube is going to look good. When I sit there and look at his average, it said 3 points. I don't know if he was hurt this year, UCF. I don't know what the fuck was going on. More of the story is, I have no idea. Hopefully, I really do get to see him play because I've been hearing his name for years. I actually haven't got a chance to see him in competition. All I hear is, oh, if Bronny made it, he should have been doing this. Or if Bronny doing that, he should have been doing that because I believe they're in the same class. But I haven't heard nothing. I don't know if the gun charge situation stagnated, what he had going on, etc. But it's more about off the court activity for Mikey Williams, for me anyway, than on the court shit.
Okay. And then how do you feel about Shaq basically taking over that GM position?
Shaq got 100 jobs, man. Shaq own Papa John's. Shaq own all type of shit, man. I don't think that Shaq, I'm not saying Shaq ain't going to be committed and Shaq ain't going to do what he got to do because Shaq, one thing for sure, he loves basketball. Not just loves basketball, he knows basketball. But is he committed? We know he has a job. I don't know what he's going to do television-wise as far as TNT not having an NBA next season, as far as I know. All the businesses that he owns, all the commercials that he do. I think this is one of those situations, nigga said, I'll do the job if you take my son. It's my opinion. How much love do you really got? if it's a package deal, pause. And like I said, I don't really know this for a fact. Shaq my nigga, so of course I'm not this Shaq. Shaq's my brother. But I would do the same thing. Take my son, you need me as the GM? Yeah, go ahead. We got you starting, right? Or 4 if need be? No, we want to do it two and done. That's how I feel about the situation.
Okay. And then on the conversation of just Sacramento in general, the Kings and interim head coach Doug Christie are finalizing a multi-year contract to make him the official next head coach. Mase, do you like this choice for them given the way that their season went and ended?
Yeah, I think anytime that you're able to bring familiarity back to a situation, especially when they had high points and great history, is always good because it starts to communicate family. It makes more people feel comfortable. More people want to work hard and stay around. So for that moment only, I think it's great. I think they got a lot of things they need to do with this team, but we're talking about the coaching part. The coaching part, I think, is great with Doug Christie.
I don't know, man. Is Doug Christie still married?
Mm-mm.
Let me find that out stat. Let me know if he's still married. That's because this is based upon my answer.
Yeah,
It says, yeah,
Exactly.
1996.
Yeah. People just jumping out the window saying no and don't know. That's why I'm asking. I wouldn't hide Doug Christie.
They divorced in 2025.
So they just divorced. So you're wrong and Bezos right. All right.
Yeah, Mase is right.
Yeah.
I'm still confirming though.
Bezos
Papers
said
weren't
no,
final.
no.
It doesn't have it on the thing yet though. It says they're not currently married. So yeah.
All the story is, look, I don't care if he's married or not.
This is a new check.
This is what I'm saying. If he is married to the wife that he had, and more power to her, I'm not disrespecting her neither when I say this. I'm never hiring Doug Christie to do nothing. Because we were just talking about how Bill Belichick's wife is controlling his situation.
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend, thank you, young 24 tenderoni. controlling his situation. Doug Christie, wife, runs his life, my nigga. Runs it, my nigga, to the point where he was playing on the Sacramento Kings, right, B? He wasn't allowed to look up. When he was on the bench, he had to look down. How you looking down, not focusing on the game to see what the next player is? She talking about she don't want him to lock eyes with nobody in the audience. After the game, she's standing right there in the tunnel so that nobody can speak to him when he gets in the tunnel. When he goes on the road, she has to be on the road. My nigga, I've never seen nobody to that level to where they control your life to that. The reason I know this isn't speculation. It was a whole HBO, Brian Gumbel, Real Sports on HBO. He did a whole special on this. Outstanding work, by the way, by Brian Gumbel and his staff to actually highlight this. And I couldn't believe it. So if you're asking me, and I know we was talking about Bill Belichick, like, yo, how much power does she have over? We know the power of Doug Christie's wife, if they're still together. Like I said, I don't know. But if so, I'm not hiring Doug Christie to do shit for me. That nigga can't clean my dog shit out my backyard, bro. Nothing. That's just me. Now, if he's not married and he got divorced, sure, maybe so. I don't know if things always work out when you go back home. I don't know anybody it worked out for besides LeBron, to be totally honest, playing at home or coaching at home. A lot of times when you go back home, it's more headache because you got to deal with the niggas you know. Now, Doug Christie's older, so you probably don't got to deal with it. I used to think about that for Derrick Rose when he's with Chicago, because you got to think about this. He went to Chicago at a young age. Not only that, got a $200 million deal from Adidas, the man with the Bulls, #1 draft pick, rookie of the year. And he had them niggas running around. I don't know if you remember, Murder, the Jeep with the doors off that summer. Yeah. 35 of them niggas shits running around, Ferraris, all type of shit in Chicago. All his niggas was living like that in Chicago. And you do that at a young age, but it's a lot to deal with when you go home because people want tickets. People want you to do them a favor. People want to shop. It's just a lot. So hopefully it works out. And hopefully he'll be a good coach. He did really good being the intern coach. But if his wife is still his wife, I'm not hiring the nigga.
Fair. Okay. And then we talked about basically the Shedeur prank call and what should be the repercussions, what would happen. So actually the NFL fined the Falcons $250,000 and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich $100,000 over the leak of the phone number before the draft. What do you think the conversation was between the team, the coach, and the son, Mase?
Oh man, I think the conversation with the son, it was, I don't even know, because I don't think it was a leak. I think it was done on purpose, actually. I don't think it was a leak. I think they covering it up and calling it a leak. But I don't think there was a great conversation, because I don't think he finds that number without someone letting him see that number.
Yeah, I don't know what the conversation was about. That ain't really the topic for me.
Yeah.
But the real question is this, and I know it ain't going to happen, but to be honest with you, I think 50% of that money should go to Shedeur. He the one who had to endure the embarrassment. He's the one who got the prank phone call going on. And you know what niggas tried to do? But yeah, first of all, let me stick to that point.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the NFL found him, so the NFL gets the money. But the NFL, they can say they faced embarrassment as an organization or a league or the Shield, the NFL Shield, so it'd be for the Falcons saying they can face embarrassment. Ain't nobody more embarrassed, well, I ain't gonna say embarrassed, that got the worst end of the stick paws in that situation than Shedeur. Cut him 50% of that, if that's my opinion. Because he's the one who actually had to deal with that situation. So that's how I feel about the situation, my personal opinion.
Okay, and then last thing before we wrap.
I was going to say something else about that, though. I swear to God, I was just about to say. Damn, I wanted to say something else. But, yeah, I'm sorry, Stat. I had something else to say about that. I'm so mad I forgot. But I think that half that money should go to Shedeur. He's the one facing embarrassment. That's what I was going to say. Now I remember. You know what niggas had the audacity to say? Niggas had the audacity to say is that because he didn't have an agent and Dion was handling everything, Dion basically said, give all the teams the numbers or something to that context. So all the teams had the numbers because niggas was trying to figure out how the defensive coordinator had the number where he shouldn't have had the number. And they said, and that's because Dion didn't have an agent. That's something that an agent usually handles and makes sure that the phone numbers get to the right people within the organization. They're saying Dion just told everybody in every organization they got the number. So niggas still found a way to try to blame it on Dion for the shit that this nigga's son did. It don't stop, baby. It don't stop, my nigga. It really don't. That's crazy.
So he didn't have an agent?
Dion was handling Dion's his agent.
Oh, okay.
But or was handling this situation. So basically they're saying because he didn't have an agent, they're basically saying that an agent would know what to do in this situation and it wouldn't have got out to this person's son if an agent was handling all this.
Yeah.
Okay, actually another thing too, I know cause there's been a lot of like negative stuff, but like there is some positive. So basically his jersey, according to Fanatics, is the best-selling jersey in his draft class. So what do you guys think about that?
I mean, welcome to the number 2 family. I mean, that's my numbers, but you know, he can wear it.
His nickname is 2.
Yeah, it's
US 2, you about to say that?
That's why it's the highest selling jersey. Shout out to Shedeur.
When you say highest selling jersey, what, for NFL? Or
It
In
says
his class.
in his class, yeah, confirmed.
Well, what do
against
you
Fanatics.
mean? Like, because it's different jerseys. Colorado or the
his
Browns?
NFL
NFL.
jersey.
The
Yeah,
Browns
his Browns
jersey.
jersey.
Yeah, this draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was making sure that
Yeah.
I had the context. We say that. Yeah, so basically, what is it, a 2?
Yes. From here, that's what I see. 2 Browns jersey, yeah.
Yeah, well, listen, man, that's one thing that we didn't think would be a problem. Him knowing how to market and him knowing how to sell tickets. And people confuse his confidence with arrogance. And, you know, he's his father's child. But at the end of the day, we didn't think he's going to make no money. Now, listen, Cleveland Browns need to get a lot of money back, especially from the money they spent with Deshaun Watson. If they end up selling a lot of Shedeur jerseys, whether he plays or not, they'll keep him. Because jerseys make a lot of money, and that's part of getting the money back for an organization. So congratulations to Shedeur, and congratulations to the Cleveland Browns, but I'm more concerned about him getting a couple dollars out that $350, which I know isn't going to happen.
But maybe he will. You never know, because the way things have been going, we've been seeing a lot of things happen that we didn't expect. So hopefully he does get a cut of that, because honestly, he deserves that. And by you saying stuff up here, you and Mase both, when y'all say things, it starts happening. Yeah. So, hey, y'all, you never know.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That being said, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. 2 Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.